allegiance to freedom. Your girl did it. It took some steps. It took a lot of steps, a lot of activities. It took a roadmap. It took a blueprint. And I am incredibly grateful. I talk a little bit about in my most recent book about preparing for your season of elevation, about how my dad was didn't have a he didn't have an education. He couldn't read or write. I was his eyes, his ears, his estimator, his blueprint reader. But it was something special about learning or helping my dad because he couldn't read or write. It was something about understanding his journey to building houses that really set me on the trajectory to understanding how there was a blueprint for my life and that it was not traditional. It was not at all traditional, that I would go through some things. I would get through some crossroads. I would have to do some things differently than everyone else. And that's okay. That's okay. So I am here to share with you, for those of you who do not know me, my name is Dr. Eve. I am a health and human service educator, trainer, workshopper, supporter, developer, all the things in the health and human service industry. As an industry expert and academic scholar, I center creation of cultures of well-being. By that, I mean places where people can get social support, the social support that they need to take them from point A to point Z, right? And what's very different about what I do from what others do is that I use online social support. So while you see me in the road, I'm doing wellness across the nation. My academic scholarly work truly is my MVP work. And that is where I use tech. I teach you to use technology. I teach you to make the world your client versus your group your client. I show you how to maximize your ability to reach more people versus your group. And so I'm really excited to be here today. Want to break that down for you all. The more I talk about it, the more I understand, that you got to be able to tell people what it is that you do. And I'm literally taking those who want to be helping professionals from allegiance to freedom, like I did on my job, because I knew that I had a skill. I knew that I had something to offer. I knew that my helping was needed, and it was needed outside of walls. It was needed all over the world. And so I took my skills from allegiance to freedom. And that's what I teach others to do in an online environment. And so I'm excited to talk with you all right now about how much would you like to make? That's a good question. That is a question that a lot of folk be asking themselves. And they be like, well, how y'all come up with these prices? Well, where y'all get that from, right? So I'm just going to share this out real quick. Invite somebody in the room who wants to learn, We're excited and excited. I am on a journey to give it all away. What do you think about that, right? And so I am shaking the trees, baby. Shaking all the trees, right? Yeah, so I tell you, it won't let you share, but so far though, will it? Welcome into my space. This is Dr. Eve, and I'm about to share all these good deeds about how much would you like to make. You'd have to, if you just came into the room, thank you. Thank you to all my replay viewers. Thank you to all of you who are here, because I know y'all replay viewers, y'all will come back and view. Why? Because my stats tell me so, that y'all like to come in the aftermath All right, and that's cool because I respect y'all. I respect my replay viewers. Yeah, just leave me some feedback, please. just leave me some feedback. So God has blessed me incredibly, incredibly, incredibly to be able to do this work, to be able to show others, to be able to show others how to stand in their power, to show others not to just, we're more than advocates, that we are in fact the solution, right? And so in this work, along this journey, I am helping others to see themselves that way, right? Because oftentimes we don't even see that in ourselves. We don't even see that there's like some more coins out there. There's some other ways to help. Because you know what they always say? I've heard people say this right here. Those who like to help gonna be broke. Those who like to help other people, those who like to outreach, those who like to do God's service, gonna be broke. It's a whole lie, because that is not what God's word says. His word says that he knew the thoughts that he has towards you, and that was to prosper you and bring you to an expected end. He ain't say, what do the word prosper mean, y'all? I'm gonna need y'all to look that up. I'm gonna need y'all to look that word up, because for all those believers out there, I want y'all to know that God got something in tow for you. He has something in tow for you, for all that beautiful work that you be doing for people all the time, but you didn't see yourself in how you can grow. You didn't, all you see yourself doing is, oh, I got to do this for God. I got to keep my hands to the plow. God wants to bless y'all. Yeah, he wants to bless his servants because you true to him. And somehow the kingdom got it messed up that somehow y'all supposed to be poor and in service. That's not true. Let me help y'all get from allegiance to freedom over here. Allegiance to freedom. And so I am really just sitting here trying to share this live before I get started on all these deets. But for some reason, the way Facebook got stuff set up over here, it's real. Let me help y'all get from allegiance to freedom. Come on, y'all. Come on, come on, come on. It won't let, I'm telling you, it doesn't allow you to share. It won't allow you to share. Next time I'm gonna go straight from the, it won't allow you to share anything. Like, not easily anyway. You really gotta go through something. They'll mess around and make me set up another whole laptop somewhere to be able to share easily. There is nothing like getting started and you can't share it where you want to share it. So I'm going to go into this group right here. Here's what we're going to do. We'll start over in just a minute. Facebook, be patient, because I refuse. I refuse to be conquered. I refuse to be conquered. So let's see here. We're going to go to groups. I will find my way, Facebook. You hear me? And drop this good link so that my folk can get what they need. I didn't share too many times over there. Y'all help y'all sister out. You hear me? Oh, what is with this phone? Be patient, y'all. I'm coming. Your sister is coming. I just have to. I'm trying to get into my group, but that's not working. You know what? That's okay. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep right on going. And we're going to start over. Hey, everyone. Dr. Eve here. Really, really excited to be in the house to share with you all. I am, first of all, so forever grateful to all the many blessings that God has allowed me to have or to see or to be a part of, the many people he's allowed me to bless and change their lives, communities that allowed me to transform and be a part of, the food chains that he's allowed me to be a part of, and all the beautiful people that have been in my life, and most importantly, God, right? For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dr. Eve. I am a health and human service educator, trainer, workshop speaker, writer, you name it. That's what I do. And I do it with my passion in technology. So, you know what y'all hear me say on my lives, your skills and your passion is the best blessing you ever gonna have that came straight from God, right? Your skill and your passion. And so what do I do with that work? I take you from allegiance, hey, to freedom, from allegiance to freedom. So many of us have amazing skills, and we are serving people every day. People who need us, people who need a support system, people who just they need you to know that they need to know that somebody else been through what they've been through, a lived experience, even for that matter. Many of us are in the service industry because of something that we went through. They might not tell you that, but most of us go into these industry because of an experience that we had and that we don't want to see others suffer, or that we think that we can make a difference because we did have an experience. And so what I do is I work with those providers to move them from that place into special places where they can actually earn and get away, earn allegiance to freedom. I take you from allegiance to freedom in your provider field, in your education, using your education. I am the most unorthodox, untraditional human being in business. Why? Because most PhDs are in a classroom somewhere. I go when I feel like it. The one thing I didn't want to do as a PhD is be tenured, because tenure is going to mean I got to be someplace for 7 years and somebody building, doing some work and committing my work that they're going to get credit for. I didn't even let the people publish my dissertation because I wanted to own it. Y'all got to be careful giving your stuff away. You got to be real careful giving your stuff away. But I knew I didn't want to be a tenured professor because I worked in the English department for 10 years. I saw that. I saw what they went through. I saw and knew that that wasn't the route that I wanted for myself. And so I said, well, I'm going to own all these skills. I'm going to be the most unorthodox person. I am the person that's going to be on the streets, that's going to chant, that's going to advocate, that's going to do micro, meso, and macro level work with all these skills. And so we have a choice. And you'll hear people say often, oh, your degree ain't no good. Lie. That's a lie. Now, don't believe that myth, though, that America tells you about, oh, go back to school, get a great degree, and somehow they're going to pay you more, because now that's a lie. That for real, that depends on who you are, right? And so I just want to be clear about what I'm saying. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about how much would you like to make. I've done a series of videos on becoming entrepreneur, your status, how to forms you need to do, set up this, set up that, set up the, how to do this, how to do that, how to do the other. Why? Because what I need to hold on to it for. So, if you haven't checked out my YouTube channel, please check out my YouTube channel. You can go to the link, click the link in this bio, go to my YouTube channel, check them out. If you want a discovery call, there's the link right there. But let me just get into this content right quick. This content about how much would you like to make? So when thinking about this question, first of all, there's no try or true answer to how to do this. This is personal. This is so personal, but there is a formula that you must think about when you're thinking about what you want to charge, or how you come up with prices and all those things. So let's talk about that a little bit. In order to get a handle on your rates, you have to, first of all, it's an art. It really is an art. It's not a science. It is an art. And so in that, you have to run some numbers, right? Run some numbers. And you got to you can run some numbers, talk to your peers, trust your gut, learn from experience, but there's no set formulas, right? You have to personalize this for yourself. And the question that I ask myself is, what do I desire out of life? Well, that's actually what my mentor asked me. But the one thing I couldn't do was answer that question. I couldn't answer it without really trying to figure out, well, what do I want out of life? Have you ever thought about that? What do you want out of life? So part of the formula is understanding what it is that you want out of life. The equation is once you know what you want out of life, physically, mentally, spiritually, socially, financially, all the things, but you can't come up with that number like that. You literally got to run these numbers. Like if you are at a certain age, and like, for example, if I knew I wanted 4 children, I better count. Okay, so let me just run my life for y'all. Let me just run that. Okay, so I'm married, been married 30 years, worked 30 years in the industry. I got 4 kids and I got 7 grandkids, right? So now I'm just going now. With all of that said, it took me a while to get to where I am. I'm not even where I need to be, but I know I'm on a trajectory towards leaving the legacy that I want for my children. But what if I had started earlier thinking about what that looked like for me, right? We knew we wanted 4 children. I knew I wanted to be married, right? So, all right, so if you're young, you ain't married, you know you want to be married. What does it cost to be married, right? Okay, what are some of the things you need to in marriage? You need a home, you need stability, you need work, you need business, whatever that is for you, because that's personal. Remember, it's personal. That's part of the formula. It is so personal. And so you have to really be thinking about what it is that you want. If it's a startup, you first of all, you're gonna think about marriage. You want children. What's the cost to go to school? How much it costs for their clothes, their shoes, their living, cost of living? If you want a house, how much of a house? What type of a house? Where do you want to live? What's the cost of living there? What's the cost of maintenance, upgrades? What do you hope to project? Do you want 1 house, 2 houses, 3 houses, 4 houses, 5, 6? What do you want? What do you want? So you really have to put this on paper so that you can have some clear delineated items that really say, okay, well, this is going to cost me $1 million, or this is going to cost me $5 million. This because most of us have been millionaires before, y'all. We just don't keep our money. Let's just be clear. You done made $1 million already. Most of y'all done made the $1 million. You are a millionaire. You just didn't know how to keep. You didn't know how to keep your money. Nobody taught us how to keep our money, but I'm doing some teaching. So I want y'all to stay with me, okay? So here's an equation. First of all, what's the salary? We talked about answering the question about your life, marriage, house, children, grandchildren, cars, where you want to live, cost of living, school, if you want to grow, what's the cost of that? Yeah, don't go in debt. You want to know these numbers. Why? Because you need to set a salary. And in order to set a salary for yourself, you got to know the numbers. Your salary, and I need you to be clear on this, when you are starting a business, trying to set some prices, remember that your salary is a business expense. You want to get to a point, you got to put those numbers in there. If I want to make $100,000 a year, $500,000 a year, $1 million a year, matter of fact, ain't nothing wrong with you saying you want to make $1 million, right? But let me tell you what you're going to have to get down to when you say that. You're going to have to put some things in place. This formula, expenses, right? What are your expenses? What's going to be an expense? Your salary is going to be an expense, but set the standard. We talked in an earlier video about how to set your prices. That's part of it as well. You'll have to go back to that video, but you'll need to list your salary as an expense. You'll have to have what's your profit annually. Profit annually over and above your expenses. What do you want to profit annually over and above any expenses that you have? So even if your salary is an expense, you paying yourself, but what you want to profit even after that, because your salary is an expense. You just wrote that off because it's an expense, right? But remembering that income on the income side of your W-2, you still owe Uncle Sam something, right? But if you're real smart, you're going to do some pension and some all other kind of stuff. We'll be talking about that another time. Billable work. billable work hours, right? Billable work hours, project work time, percentage of the total hours allowed for sick and vacation. So you want to know these things. What are your billable work hours? That would be your project work time. If you got a project that's lasted 6 months, or you got a project that's lasting for a year, and believe it or not, there are contractual services out here that last for a year or more. And you have to ask yourself, those are your billable hours. You are billing and contracting another company for these hours, which is which in essence is an expense. So that's your project work time. You have to do a percentage of those total hours, a percentage of those hours. So you can't just lump them all in because you got administrative work in your business. You're not charging for that. You're charging for billable hours, right? What are those billable hours? Now, y'all, these some valuable nuggets in here because y'all need to really take away billable work hours. What are your billable? Are you working on the thing? For example, I am a trainer. These are billable hours. I want to spend more of my time teaching you all this thing right here so that I know that my billable hours, I am staying before you doing the things that I'm charging, that I get paid to do. Billable hours. What are your billable hours? Also allow for sick and vacation time. Those are hours that you have to factor into your ballpark for your pricing packages. FYI, basic hourly rate used as a guide to come up with your project fee. For example, I was looking earlier, what I try to do, because I work with providers and those who want to get into the service industry right out of school to own their pathway to provide support because they're helping professionals. That's what they want to do. I help them to pivot so that the world is their client through technology, right? But when I do that, I have to go and help them decide or figure out, when this is one of those videos where you help them to figure out, go and check out some of the sites and what do they usually charge for someone like yourself right out of school or midway, or if you're excellent and at the top of your industry, then you can make the top dollar, but you better be super excellent at what you do if you're going to charge these people all this money, right? The other thing is, what's your expense? Your expense, you got to factor in your expense, the time sensitivity of the project. Now, this is what you're thinking about when you're talking about coming up with your project fee. Your expense, time sensitivity, the type of client that you're working with, because some of them are high maintenance. And for me, I do a survey, so I don't have them kind. Because I don't have the patience for high maintenance people, right? I just don't. That's not my thing. That's somebody else. That's somebody else's thing. And whether it will advance you, if it's not going to advance you, you get to choose. You get to choose, you guys. You get to choose. You don't have to accept. Some tips for you is and when you're breaking into the industry, I talked about this a little bit already, right out of school, trying to get your feet wet, then of course you want to stay right within low to mid industry standard. So as you're growing, you can always raise your prices, but you want to get your feet in the door. You don't want to go and charging top industry prices if you can't even yield excellent. If you don't even know all this other stuff right back here that you need to know about polishing, entrepreneurship, consultantship, and all that stuff like that, then you want to be mindful that you have to have a heck of a lot of clarity on what it is that you're offering to charge those kinds of prices, right? If you're just stepping into this industry as a consultant. If your fee is too high, you better be excellent in what you do, because they coming for it. They pay. It's just like I said on the last video that I shortballed myself at the mid, and he said, no, we can do better than that. So they knew better for me. And so this is the formula that you're going to use, when you're considering how much you want to make Remembering that it's personal. It's not for everybody. There's a formula. You want to think about what you want to make. What's your annual salary? Remember that your salary is an expense. What kind of profit do you want to make? What's your billable hours? And making sure you're excluding vacation, holiday, all them things. Hourly rate, considering what that's going to look like, whether you want to be, you look at your hourly rate as it project wise. So again, your project, just wrap it up, is going to, you're going to be thinking about your expenses, your time sensitivity for the project, your type of client, because clients is everything, y'all. If they hard to work with and you want to work with them, cool, but make it worth your while, because some clients will take you through the ringer. All right, and whether it will advance you. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. E, about to jump off of this one and on to another one. How much would you like to make? Please check out my YouTube channel, get all these deets. I got 315 days of giving away. 315 solid days of giving you all the things to help you progress to a new level, to go from allegiance to freedom, where you can make the world your client. So I'm so excited to be before you again. Please, if you would like a discovery call on where you fit within the window, how you can use your skills, get a free discovery call right here, y'all, right here. You see that link tree, Dr. Eveangel H. Savage, or click the link in the video up above. Peace and blessings to you all. I hope you enjoyed this live.